Guys, so in the last session, right, we discussed about web element locators, right? And what is the locator in Selenium? Locator is a way of identifying elements on the web page. Locator is a way of identifying elements to identify elements on any web page. So there are different locators we can use in Selenium. These are the 8 different types of locators we can use. Class name locator means if we use class attribute value to identify any element, then we can use this class name locator. And if you want to use tag name to identify any element, then we should use this tag name locator. And if I want to use ID attribute value to identify any element, then we should go with ID locator. Similarly, with the name attribute value, we should use name locator. And up to here we have seen, right? Class name, tag name, ID, name we completed. Is it right? From today, we will see the remaining locators, how to use the remaining locators. And today we'll focus more on XPath, how to define XPath to identify different elements. Okay, we'll focus on this XPath creation today. Okay, let us see. See, in yesterday's session, we completed this one tag name, how we define the tag name locator using by class, by dot tag name, and the input is tag value, tag name. Similarly, class name, by dot class name and class value. And similarly, by dot ID, ID value, by dot name and name value. So now let us see first link text locator, how to use link text locator. So this locator can be used to identify link elements, only links, web links, right? To identify links, we can use this link text and also link partial text. These two locators should be used to identify link elements. Okay, guys. So now let us see that. What is that link element? Not this one. We need to go with for link application element. We can find link elements on this page, on this web page. So I will open this web page. Okay. So I'm running the script. It will launch that application. Yeah, application is opened. And here see that it is a link. It is a link, okay, return to index. So like this, you can find multiple links on any web applications. Generally, we can find many link elements, right? So when you click this link, it will navigate to another page. Is it right? See, if I click this one, it may navigate to a different page. And these are all links. You can see here, these are all links. Okay, well, let us see that. I want to click this link first on this web page. Okay, let us say that how to identify this link element using a link text locator. So now you can create another class. Please follow me. You create one more class file inside Selenium package with the name test link. Okay, test link class I'm creating with the main method. Done. I created a new, yeah, I created new class. So all of you also can do this, can follow me parallelly. You please create a new class file inside Selenium package. Test underscore link is the class name. And please ensure that main method is created inside the class. Please let me know once you're done. So all of you done?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, now, so let us write common steps. First, declare variable, WebDriver variable inside the class with the static keyword, static WebDriver, and driver is the variable name I'm using. Declare driver variable inside the class outside of main method, and import WebDriver class. Now inside main method, you can copy even from the previous script, no problem, but you have to, now this time we have to use this link. Okay, I will, I think so you have this link already shared with you, web form link. Web form link, please use this. I'm pinging you here in the chat. Take this URL, open this URL, add new Chrome driver statement and driver.get URL. So now identify link using link text locator. See that how to write that, driver dot find element by dot link text, by dot link text. So what is the link text now here? See, I want to click this return to index, right? So it is the text appeared on this link. So you can write this text as a input, return to index. P and I both are small letters. So I'm writing here the text value, return to index. So now this statement will identify an element. Which element it will identify? It will identify link element with the text value return to index. Once that link element is identified, I want to click that element, right? Click is the action. That's all. And click it, click on. So what we are doing in this statement, I have given as a comment here. Identify link element using link text locator and click that element. So that is what we are doing here in this statement. So you please complete this step. All of you understanding now how we are defining link text locator by dot link text, and here we are defining the full text. You can observe that. See that this link element contains return to index, that is a full text, right? So we should use here the full text appeared on this link in this locator. Always return to index. We are defining the full text of that link element. Now click this element. Now see that I'm running this. Okay, see that it clicked that link and it opens index page, right? Index page. So this that means this step is running good. It is identifying this link properly, and that link is clicked as expected. Okay. So you please complete this step execution. And please let me know once you complete this execution. And if you face any issues also, please let me know immediately. Okay.
Sir, 1 second. Actually, Lakshmi called and yeah, she is joining now.
Good evening, sir. I just joined.
Yeah. Okay, Anant Lakshmi. Just see that I have shared my screen, right? In this screen, I have written new lines of code here. You please create a script, this one, and try to run this script. So guys, all of you create a new class file first, and then create this script inside new class file. Yes, all of you done?
Done,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's running good.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So now here we are using link text locator, right? See now we will try to click the same link using partial link text locator now. Okay. So just copy these two comments, these two lines with the comment and modify that a little bit. See here, now we are not using link text, link partial text. So by dot link partial text. Where is that? Partial link text, not link partial. Partial link text. Partial link text. Okay. Partial link text. Partial link text. See is the locator. Partial link text is the locator. I think so I have given here wrong name. Partial link text. Partial link text. So method name also. Okay, done. So here I will comment line number 13 now. I don't want use this link text locator. Now I want to use this partial link text locator to identify this element. Okay. Um, see, see when we use this partial link text. Okay, generally, right in the real time when we use this, close this. Okay, so see here, if I sometimes right, we may not be able to use the full text of the link sometimes. When we may not be able to use full text, the link right may contain some dynamic text. See, this link contains static text, right? This text value is not changing. It is always constant. Same value is there. It is not changing. Is it right? But sometimes, right, some link text may be not constant. It may varying. It may be varying. Maybe after some time or after certain after performing certain actions. So this link text sometimes may be uh, changing. So at that time, we may not be able to use the full text of that link to identify that link. But still, right, see, even though that link text is changing, not completely 100% changing. Okay. See, some part of the text is constant, but some other part of the text may be varying every time. You understand? Something like that. In that scenario, so whatever the text is constant, you can use that text to identify this element, to identify the link element. So you can ignore the text which is not constant, which is changing every time. You can ignore that part. So all of you clear? So that is the actual usage of this partial link text. So in such scenario, this partial link text locator is useful to identify such dynamic link elements in the web page. Okay, right now it is not a dynamic link element, but still I want to identify this element using written, only using written text. Instead of using the full text value, I want to use just written partial text of that link. So now see that we can define here just simply partial text value, not a full text value written. Now still that link element should be identified and it should click. So by using partial link text locator. Okay. So now you try this, you write this statement and run it and see, is it working or not? Okay, let me try in my system also. See, it is working good. Okay, it is clicking that link without any issues. Yeah, hi. Is it running fine now? Partial link text, all of you?
Yes, sir, it's working.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, see now these are all the locators. Okay, we completed tag by tag name, by class name, by ID, by name, by link text, and by partial link text. How to use these locators? All of you clear? See, the most first preference should be given to by ID, by name locators. If any element contains ID attribute or name attribute, then we can use that attribute, that locator. Okay. If ID and name is not available, then you can go with other attribute, other locators. So that is the best practice. Okay. So now let us see XPath. What is XPath and how to use this XPath? So in the real-time projects, right, most frequently used locator is XPath. In real-time projects, XPath or CSS selector. These two will be used most frequently. So the XPath is the I can prefer first one, first option. And CS selector also good locator, and it also will be used frequently in the real-time projects. So now let us see XPath. What is XPath and how to use this? Let's see this. What is XPath first? See, XPath is see generally HTML document, right? Every web page is a HTML document. All of you clear? And every HTML document can be considered as a XML document. And if it is considered as XML document, using XPath, you can identify any node in the XML file using XPath. So generally XPath will be used with XML files. For what purpose? To identify XML nodes in the XML file. XML nodes are nothing but similar to HTML tags. In the XML file, we define XML tags. How we define HTML tags in the HTML file. Similarly, in the XML file, XML tags will be defined. So in the XML file, to identify any XML tag or XML node, we call that XML tag as XML node in XML file. And to identify those XML nodes, we use this XPath in the XML file. Since HTML document also can be considered as a XML document, so we can use that XPath with HTML file to identify HTML elements in the HTML document or in the web page. All of you clear? Why we are using here XPath? See, XPath is a expression, path expression used for locating nodes in the XML document. Since HTML document also can be treated as XML document, so we can use XPath in the HTML file as well to identify HTML elements in the HTML document. That is nothing but web page. So all of you clear what is XPath and why we are using XPath? Uh, why we are using XPath in HTML document? Yeah, guys, 1 second. Yeah, okay, guys, I'm back. So all of you clear, guys, what is XPath and why we are using XPath here to identify web elements in the web page? So web page is nothing but a HTML document. HTML document means it is a very similar to XML document. So in the XML file, we are using XPath technique to identify XML nodes. So the same technique we can apply here. We can use in the HTML document to identify the HTML elements. So that's why we can use XPath to identify web elements or HTML elements in the web page. So now here there are two types of XPaths. Okay, first one is absolute XPath. What is the absolute XPath? See that. Absolute XPath means the XPath that begins from the root element. So that means starting from the first element from first HTML element in the HTML document up to the element for which you are looking for, up to that element, starting from root element to the element that you are looking for. So in between, what are the HTML elements, right? It is a traversing through. So that is called XPath, absolute XPath. So absolute XPath always begins from the root HTML element. If the XPath is defined starting from the root HTML element, that is called absolute XPath. So all of you understand now what is absolute XPath. And there is one more XPath, it is called relative XPath. See, we never use this absolute XPath in the real-time projects to identify any element. So why we don't use, we'll see that. Okay, you can understand this in the while. I will explain you that. Now see that the second XPath is called a relative XPath. What is this relative XPath? If I define, right, see here, the relative XPath will be defined starting from some element other than the root element with unique attribute or tag name. So here, you should not define the XPath starting from the root element. If you don't define any XPath starting with the root element, then it is called relative XPath. All of you clear the difference between absolute XPath and relative XPath? So now let us see this in the application. You can understand that clearly. Okay, let us take this one. Okay. Or I can take a login page instead of that. What is that application? Login. Guys, I will take this login. Okay. Uh, so in this login script, right, we are checking that all elements, username element, right, and password element, these things are displayed or not. Is it right? An error message is displayed or not. Here we are clicking that submit button, and then we are checking here error message is displayed or not. And here we are entering some username value into username text box field. Okay, now let me run this. It will launch that application. So guys, you also can run this login script. You have created, right? You should have created this login script as well. You please open this login file, login class file, Java file, and run the script. See that it is open. Login page is opened. Okay, that. Now let us see that what is XPath, what is absolute XPath and a relative XPath. Go to HTML DOM tool, development tool, by pressing F12 key. Guys, have you opened this page, a login page? Please open this login page, all of you, in the Chrome browser. Just by running it, by running this login script, or open this link directly manually, no problem. Guys, you have already, this login script is available with you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, run the script and see that is it running or not. If it is running, it should launch this application, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Once it is launched, open, maximize that window, Chrome browser window, and press F12 key to open that HTML. See that I have opened HTML. So you can minimize this below window. There are two windows, right? In the top, you can see elements window. Below, it is not required right now. We can minimize this one. You can drag it a little down so that you can see we can see more elements in the HTML document.
Sir, just F12 or control F12?
Uh, F12 not working?
Yes, sir. The calculator only opening.
No, maybe if your keyboard is okay, try control F12.
Okay.
No, in your keyboard, F12 function, is there any FN key is there?
Calculator only showing, sir.
Oh, okay. Or you can do one more thing. If it is not opening like that, just simply right click on any element in this web page. Right click here. See, inspect is there, right? Click this inspect. It will open that same window. If F12 key is not working,
Okay, sir.
right click on any element and click this
Okay.
inspect option.
Inspect. Okay.
Yeah, it will launch that same window.
Yeah, it's opened, sir. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
will open.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, guys. Now see that here. Just you click this arrow icon and select this text box, username text box, or you can go with the header, test login header. You highlight this one element, move the mouse over this test login header, click on that. Then see H2 is highlighted, right? H2 test login is highlighted. Is it right? Now right click on that and copy. You see the here, copy full XPath. Copy full XPath. All of you clear? In this elements page, right click, copy, not XPath, full XPath. See this. You can see that what is copied here. So now double slash XPath, absolute XPath, XPath. Okay. Now I'm commenting this line. So all of you copied this XPath for this test login, right? Test login element. For this test login element, you have to right click, copy full XPath. Okay. Are we testing test login here? No. Okay. Yeah, here it is tag name. See here, we are checking that that tag name header, h2 header element is displayed, right? Using tag name locator, we are checking here, guys. See now, I will be checking this header using XPath, using absolute XPath. So I will write same statement, status is equal to, because I will comment this line now. I'm commenting this line. And now here driver dot find element by dot XPath and copy that absolute full XPath, whatever you copied there, you paste it here. Dot is displayed is dot is displayed. Yeah, it's done. Let's see that what I have done, changed. Guys, if you create any confusion, I'm modifying existing script, right? We can create a new class also, guys, no problem. See that, let us create a new class without any confusion. Let us create new class, guys, with the name XPath. We are going to practice all XPath in this class, okay? Create XPath. Guys, all of you create a new class with class name XPath. Now simply you can take a copy from that login. I'm copying this main method and this up to here. Driver.get, up to driver.get, I'm copying. So that's all. See, I copied this variable declaration and driver.get that login page. Now I want to verify test login header. header is displayed using xpath. I want to verify login header is displayed using xpath. Okay, how to verify that? Guys, all of you create a new class xpath with name xpath in the Selenium package. Yeah, after
Yes, sir.
creating, yeah, okay. After creating a new class xpath in the main method, as usual, define two steps. Driver equal to new Chrome driver, and the second step driver dot get URL value login test login URL. After that, add a comment double slash, and in the comment verify test login header is displayed using xpath. Please add this comment. After that, in the next line, type boolean status is equal to boolean vcaps boolean space status equal to driver dot find element inside bracket by dot xpath. We should select locator xpath. See, there is no absolute xpath locator. Locator name is xpath, okay? But there are two types of xpaths we can use. One is absolute xpath, another one is relative xpath. Now we are going to use absolute xpath, okay, guys? But locator is same for absolute xpath or for relative xpath. The locator name is same. By dot xpath is the locator name. And then here we should define here xpath value. So xpath value, how we should copy from this copy full xpath, and you paste that xpath value inside by dot xpath brackets with double quotes. Dot is displayed semicolon. That's all. Yes, you please complete this step. Boolean status equal to driver dot find element, and inside the brackets by dot xpath, and inside xpath bracket you copy that full xpath value for that login test login header element h2 element, and then dot is displayed method. Now you print that status value system dot out dot print line test login page is displayed, and what is the value, true or false, plus status. Guys, here you please write this line also. See, now this is called its full xpath or absolute xpath. This one is called absolute xpath. So starting from the root element, see in this HTML document, what is the root element? If you go and see here, see this is the root element HTML. It is the first element in this HTML file. So that is called root element. So the xpath is defined starting from its root element. So it is called absolute xpath. And absolute xpath always starts with right here single slash. We should start with single slash HTML slash 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 slash. So all of you written these two lines, two steps.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Guys, if you see this, right, in this HTML XPath, right, in this XPath, let us understand a little bit more. See, the first element in this XPath is HTML, right? And if I go in this application, see that it is HTML. What is the next element in the XPath? Body. And see here, inside HTML file, body is there. Body should be the child element. See here, single slash defines. What is the meaning of single slash here? See, between HTML and body, there is a single slash. The single slash defines this right side element. Body is a child element of HTML element, HTML tag. That means this element is a child element for this first one. Immediate child. Only then you should use this single slash. So this body is a immediate child of this HTML. See, what is immediate child? See, this body is child element of HTML. That means for this body element, the parent element is HTML. See, this body element, right? Head is not the parent, guys. All of you clear? Body, for this body element, which element is parent? HTML is the parent, not the body. Body and head both are at the same level. See that both are at the same level, and these two elements are inside HTML tag. So HTML tag is the parent element, and it has two child elements. One is head, another one is body. So these two tags are called siblings. All of it clear? For this HTML, body is a child. So that's why in the XPath we are using single slash. And inside body, next child element is division. See that. Inside body, next child element is division. Say this is the next child element, division. Is it right? So next, after division, one more division is there. Inside this division, go to again child element division. See inside this division, one more child element division. Right, we are here, right? Division. Inside this division, go to section element. See inside this division, you see here, this is the section element. Header and section, there are two elements. Both are at the same level. All of you clear? Header also child element for this division. Section also child element for this division. But we need to go to section child element, not the header child element. So we have to go to section child element. Now we are here. After that, again, one more section element. Inside this section, one more section. See that there is one more section element, right? Next, inside this section, h2 element. Go to h2 element. See here, h2 element. See now, all of you clear, guys? The XPath, how it is defined, starting from HTML element up to the element which you want to identify. I want to identify this element. So between root element and this element, what are all the HTML tags we need to traverse to to find this element? So all the HTML tags are defined inside this XPath, starting from root element, HTML, body, next division, section, again section, and inside this section, h2 element is there. Okay, guys. So this is called absolute XPath, but we never should use this absolute XPath in the real-time projects. We never use this format. Okay, but just for information, we should know that what is absolute XPath, right? So for that purpose, I'm showing here. Okay. So now let us run this script and see that is it running or not. So all of you run your script as well and check that. The message is displayed. True. So it is working good. So all of you get this result?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
guys, you see, look at this here. In this print line statement, we are using plus. What is this plus? What it is doing here? Plus operator. It is called operator.
Third.
Yes, right. You are right. Okay, good. So it is, we are concatenating two strings here. Suppose if I use plus with the two integer numbers, with the two numeric values, it will add those two numeric values. Understand? Suppose if I use this plus operator with the string values, it will concatenate those two strings. That is what the plus operator is doing here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. Good. So this is called absolute XPath. All of it clear? See why absolute XPath we don't prefer to use in the real-time project. Any guess? Any idea? Are you seeing any issue with this absolute XPath to you while using this absolute XPath? Are you see any issue? Yes, there is some issue. What is that issue? Is see that. So here, starting from HTML root element up to this H2 element, what all the elements right are there? We are defining all those elements in this XPath. Suppose tomorrow developer remove this division in the application, or he inserted one more division in between these two, then what will happen? This XPath will fail, right? That means actually developer didn't touch this H2 element. Okay, he make changes at some place, not on this test login header element. Login header element is not changed, it is as it is. It is not touched, but he modified somewhere in this division element. That means he removed this division element. Example, assume that in this HTML document he removed this second division element. Then what will happen? This XPath will not work. All of you clear? So that is the big challenge. So if you define all elements locators using absolute XPath, it is really very difficult, because there is a high possibility of keep changing the application UI, because application is under testing now. It is not in the production, or it is not in the maintenance phase. Is it right? It is in the development phase. When you are testing the application, when you are developing the application and you are testing it, so at that point of time, application is not stable. Is it right? Still it is undergoing changes, many changes. So at that point of time, if I use absolute XPaths for all web elements, so there is a chance of failures, more failures. You will be getting more failures because of any small UI change may affect other elements in that web page. So that is the reason this absolute XPath is not preferred in the real-time projects. All of you understand now why we don't prefer to use this absolute XPath. Okay, now let us see a relative XPath. How to define a relative XPath? Let's see that what is relative XPath. A relative XPath will be started from any element other than root element with unique attribute or tag name. So that element, from which element you are starting the XPath, that element should be identified uniquely using any attribute or using tag name. Okay. So from that element, you can start XPath. Instead of defining the XPath starting from the root element, you can take any element in the web page, which can be identified uniquely with that means with the unique attribute value or with unique HTML tag. Then you can use that element as a main reference instead of using the first root element. Okay, let us see that. Let us see this. Okay, let me take this element itself, test login, right? Right now you define XPath starting from root element, right? I will modify this XPath using a relative XPath. See this like this. I'm copying, sorry, Control Z, Control C. I comment this line here. Verify test login using a relative XPath. Okay. It is absolute XPath. It is relative XPath. See how I'm going to change this now, relative XPath. Double slash. That's all, guys. Now this small short XPath. See, this absolute XPath is very long, right? Lengthy one. Now see that now this absolute XPath is converted to relative XPath. This relative XPath is very short. Now this will identify that element. Yes, without running this script, you can check that whether this XPath is identifying this element or not. How you can check that? Let me show you that. First, let us see check with the absolute XPath. I'm copying this absolute XPath value. Go to the application and this tool. You press here on this element tab anywhere. Control F. See now it opens find such text box, and here you paste that absolute XPath. You see that it is highlighting element with the yellow color, yellow background, right? Orange background you can see here. So that means this XPath is identifying this specific element. So this XPath is working good to identify this element. So like this, you can cross check whether your XPath is correct or not. You no need to run your script every time to check your XPath's validity. Okay. Now similarly, let me check this relative XPath. Is it identifying the same element or not? I'm copying now relative XPath. Remove this and paste it. See that? Still it is highlighting H2 element. All of you clear? That means this relative XPath also working good to identify this element. So you can also try this. Change this. Now add two more steps here. You comment first absolute XPath statement and then copy again. Then rename, change that absolute XPath to relative XPath like this. I will explain you guys how I define this relative XPath. So that is our next topic, how to create relative XPaths for different elements. You please try this. Let me run the script. Okay, done. See, it is displayed, working good. All of you please try this and also try to check this XPaths in this application HTML DOM tool. In the HTML DOM tool, how to check XPath is working or not. In the DOM tool, in the elements tab, right, Control F you have to press. Then you will be getting this text box, such text box. And there you have to copy your XPath. That's all. If that XPath is working good, then it will highlight that element. And also you can see here how many elements are identified with this XPath. Only one element is identified, one of one. Suppose if this XPath identifies more than one element, it will show you here that count, how many elements are identified using this XPath. Always our XPath should identify only one element. Like that, we have to define the XPath. So have you tried this?
Yes, sir. It's working. Yes, sir.
Well, XPath also you are able to check it right here in the HTML DOM tool.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Yes, now let us see here how to create XPath, relate to XPath. Okay. So there are, see first, let me show you this one. Absolute XPath. We define absolute XPath, right? What is the example I'm using here? This one I will copy. So this is absolute XPath by dot XPath. Okay. Start and relate to XPath. Yeah. Okay, guys. See now how to define relate to XPath. See, we can define a relative XPath using first one. I missed one more thing. Using HTML tag, guys. The first option, not directly attribute. Using HTML tag. HTML tag. Excuse me. Now see that here. It is, see here, I defined a relative XPath using unique HTML tag here. See that. See for this uh, header element, what is HTML tag? H2. So there is only one H2 HTML tag is there, right? So I can able to identify this element using HTML tag uniquely. So I'm starting my XPath definition, relative XPath definition, starting with this element itself. I don't want to travel through root element HTML to identify this element, because there is no other H2 element before this in this HTML document. I can directly identify this H2 element using its tag name, HTML tag name. So how I define that? Double slash and just define your HTML tag name, that element tag name. So double slash, right? Always the relative XPath should begin with double slash. We have to keep that in mind. Always a relative path should be defined, should be started with double slash. Absolute path always starts with a single slash here. Okay, you can see the difference. First we have to start with double slash and then define h2. So I want to identify an element with HTML tag h2. That's all in the HTML document in the web page. So this is my relative XPath. So let me define this. So I will copy this. Copy. This is the example. Okay. Yeah. So this is the using HTML tag, how to define relative XPath. Always relative XPath should begin with a double slash, and after that you should write the HTML tag name directly. That's it. Okay, guys, all of you clear? That means what right? How this element will be identified in the HTML file or in the web page? It will directly identify starting from HTML, from the beginning of this document. It will search for the h2 element. Wherever it finds first h2 element, here it is there. So it will identify this element using this xpath /h2. So that's how this xpath will find this element. It will search this entire document from the beginning, from this HTML root, and wherever it finds h2 element, it will highlight that. It will locate that element. So that is what this /h2 means. That means it will find a first element with h2 tag. That's all. That is the meaning of this /h2. So all of you understand now how to define relative xpath using HTML tag. Okay. Now let us see that how to define relative xpath using attribute. See, not only that just tag name, I want to also use some attribute along with the tag name. For example, say that in this h2 element, there is no attribute available, right? For this h2 element, there is no attributes available. Now let me take this input field, highlight this text box. Why not highlighted? Yeah. Okay, it is highlighted. Okay, this one. See now this input field, right, having different attributes, right? Type is text, name is username, ID is username. So along with this, suppose guys, see that if I write here /input and see that what element, how many elements will be identified? Input. How many elements are identified? See that two elements are identified because there are two text boxes in this web page, right? So both are identified. See, if I move this down arrow, it will go to, see, it is highlighting first text box. If I go to down arrow, it will go to the next text box. See, it is a password text box. It is highlighting. All of you clear? If I write here xpath like this /just input, if I give, there are two text boxes with the same HTML tag. Is it right? So that's why it is highlighting. It is identifying now two elements. But I want to identify first text box, right? So how you can differentiate first text box from the second text box? Then you have to see that it is second text box, it is first text box. Is there any attribute which is different in these two elements? Yes. Which attribute is different? Name is different, ID is different. Is it right? So I can use this attribute to identify one text box uniquely using XPath along with this HTML tag. So I want to use, for example, name attribute value along with this HTML tag in this XPath. See that now, how I can define a name attribute, username. I'm copying this username and here I'm defining, see, square bracket. We have to open square bracket and you have to write here at the rate of symbol before attribute name. See now I want to use name attribute, right? So the name attribute should be preceded with at the rate of symbol in the XPath. That is a rule. Okay, we have to follow syntax. I can say we should follow. So every attribute name should be preceded with at the rate of symbol in the XPath. Okay, guys. So now what is the name of the attribute? Name. Name equal to what is the value? Value. Close the square bracket. That's all. Now you see this, guys. It is highlighting only first text box. See that. Suppose if I give here username as password, see it highlights second text box. All of you clear? See here I'm using a name attribute to differentiate between two elements. So that if I use only input tag, there are two elements with same inputs, right? Then I have to identify one element out of two. How I can identify that? You have to use some attribute which is uniquely defined for that one element. So here I'm using name attribute with the value username. See, now it is highlighting username text box. Guys, all of you understand now how we are using, we are defining XPath, how we are using attributes in the XPath. See that now I'm copying this. I'm giving an example here. So using attribute, okay. Control C, Control V. Guys, any doubts? Any confusion? Are you able to follow me? How we are creating XPaths? How you are defining XPath? See, XPath is really very powerful to identify elements. Okay, you can identify any element using XPath, whether it is a dynamic element or anything. We can easily identify using XPath. So it is very powerful and very useful if you understand here, right, in detail from the basics, how we can define XPaths to identify different elements. In how many ways, right, we can define XPath. See, the first one is just by using HTML tag, you can define XPath like this. Okay, and also you can also use attributes in the XPath. How to use attribute value in the XPath? See, like this we have to define / input element with attribute at the rate of name. It is attribute name, and attribute value is inside single quotes username, and close the bracket. So all of you understand now? Suppose if I want to use more than one attribute for the same element, I want to define more than one element for the same element, it is possible. Let's see that how to define that. Okay, let me check this now. Is it working or not in our script? Okay. Here, see /h2 I have used, right? Okay, next step I'm writing enter username. Enter username. So for that driver dot find element by dot xpath. So what is xpath? /input open bracket at the rate of, what is the name of the attribute? We can use ID attribute also. Okay, anything we can use. I'm using name equal to username is the value, and close this square bracket and close the double quote. See that we define the XPath inside double quotes. It is the XPath / and input, and for this input element attribute name should be available with value username. That is the meaning of this XPath. That means WebDriver should identify directly input element in this web page, and that input element should contain a name attribute with value username. So that is the element should be identified. That is what this XPath defines. All of you understand? Now dot send keys to enter the text. Enter value or a Prasad. That's all. So please all of you write this statement to enter the username value into text box using XPath with attribute. Guys, are you able to understand now this XPath, how we are defining? And is it easy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, it is very easy. See, so far, right, we are not writing any Java program here. It is a Selenium script, and this Selenium script is very easy, not like programming that we used to write in the developers, right? It's not like that. Now, right here, we are writing a raw script. Is it right? What now we are writing is a raw script, but really, right, in real-time project, right, for every test case, we don't write uh, this like this. Raw script will not be written for all the test cases. It will be more easier in the real-time projects. When you are automating test cases, you no need to write all these scripts. It can be easy, very easily automated with very less coding. That is what the framework where come to the picture. If you are using good framework, your lines of code will become more less. You no need to write more lines of code to automate your test cases. Okay, that we'll say later. Leave it. But first, we should know how to write a script, a raw script, right? So that's what now we are learning. So let me know once you executed this step. Enter username using relative xpath. So all of you getting or any issue?
Yes, sir, I did not getting. Actually, I got an error.
What error?
Can I share the screen, sir?
Yeah, share me. Hmm. No, no. You see that here in the xpath, right? H2 after H2 there is a greater than symbol. It is not required.
This one, sir.
Yeah, yeah. That should
Okay.
be removed. Only tag name we have to give. That's all.
Okay.
Run it. It should run. Please, all of you, try to follow me and try to execute the script whatever I'm trying to write. If you don't get
Yeah, super.
right result
Thank you,
as
sir.
expected, or if you get any issue, please let me know. Okay, don't feel
Yeah,
any
sure, sir.
hesitate.
Yeah.
It's
Can I
very
start, sir?
yeah, yeah. It's very
Okay.
important to practice this one, guys. Okay, please practice whatever we are right uh, discussing in the sessions. Whatever I'm asking you to please practice, please do that. And if you face any issues, please let me know. Don't worry. So all of others completed. No, you also somebody complete this step as well.
Yes, sir.
Enter username.
The last one I'm just
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done,
yeah.
sir.
Complete that also.
Yeah. Okay.
And Deepa Anandalakshmi.
Yes, sir.
So have you completed? It's working fine.
Yes, just executing, sir.
Okay, good. Anandalakshmi.
Yes,
Deepa.
sir. Just executing, sir. No?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Got it. Okay. Now see that how to use multiple attributes for any HTML element in the XPath. It is also simple. See here, we are using name attribute, right? Suppose if this name attribute is not unique. See, in our example, name attribute is unique because name is different for first text box, name is different for the second text box, right? So one attribute is enough in this case. Suppose if this name attribute is enough, but it is not unique. Maybe not this element, some other element also having same value. Understand now? Same attribute is there for another element. To assume that. That means what will happen? This single attribute may not be able to identify this element still. Understand now? In that case, you can add one more element, one more attribute to identify this specific element. That means this I'm trying to identify this specific element, input element, using name attribute. Suppose if there is another element with the same attribute and same value, then this attribute may not help you to identify this element still uniquely, right? So in such case, I can add one more attribute if available for this element. So for example, here ID is available. I want to use ID attribute also. I want to use name and ID, or I want to use type and name. Anything I can take. I want to use type attribute and name attribute, both the together I want to use to identify this element. Then I want to add this two attributes in the xpath. How to do that? See, the type is the attribute name, value is text, right? Okay, let me define here first. See that at name equal to username and give space and okay, and at the rate of type equal to text. That's all. See that here I define two attributes. First attribute is name and its value, and second attribute name is type and its value text. So that means it identifies input element with name attribute value username and a type attribute value text. Then it will identify this element. Still it is highlighting first element. All of you clear? So this is the syntax, how to define multiple attributes in XPath. Using and keyword, we can define multiple attributes. So I will copy this. Control C. You can also check this, guys, in the HTML document tool. You can also try to define two attributes and see that is it working or not. Yeah, I can also define use same XPath here with one more attribute, okay, and at the rate of type equal to text, single quote. See, type is a attribute name, so that's why it should be preceded with at the rate of symbol. It is mandatory, okay, and its value in single quotes. So like this also we can define this one, multiple attributes. Yes, you got it, all of you got it now, multiple attributes. Now see that next one, using position or index number. Now let us see this. In this, see there are two input boxes, right? Okay. Yes, see that these two input boxes are not inside a same parent element, right? It is one input, first input, and it is second input, right? For these two inputs, parent elements are different. So this input element parent is this division. For this input parent is this division. Okay, not the same parent. Understand? When you should use this position number or index number in the XPath, if there are multiple elements under the same parent, if there are multiple same type of elements. For example, if you see here, it is a division element, it is also division element, right? These two divisions are inside this division. All of you clear? It is division, it is also division. These both are same type of elements inside this parent. So now I can differentiate these two elements using its position number or index number, we can call it. That means first division means this one, second division means this one. All of you clear? So this is called index number, I can say. So see that I can identify this text box without using attribute values or anything. Starting from this division element. See, this division can be identified using ID value, right? There is ID attribute available. So using this attribute, I can identify this division, and from this division, I want to identify this username text box without using attribute names. See, by using index numbers, see that how I will do that. Yeah, see that here I'm changing this double slash. See what is the ID value? Form, right? I'm copying this form. I want to identify the, sorry, not here. Delete that, double slash division. What is the attribute value? ID, right? At the rate of ID equal to form. Paste it. See that, is it highlighted? See this, it is highlighted now. Okay. So from this division, this text box is inside first division element. Is it right? This text box is inside this division, first division element. So slash, single slash means I want to go to the child element of this division. Division of 1. See that. See, it is highlighting first element. If I give division of 2, it identifies second division element. See that. All of you clear, guys? How you can define index numbers or position number. I want to identify first division element, then define here 1. You understand now? So inside this division, see that input is there, slash input. That's all. You no need to define any attributes now. See, I'm defining XPath in different ways for the same element. All of you understanding this? How we are defining now XPath for the same text box. See, first I identify nearby element. This is the element I want to identify, guys. All of you clear? You take this element. You find the nearby element. See, here there is an element division with some unique attribute value with ID equal to form. So I can start my XPath from here because this attribute, this element has some unique attribute. So I can use this element as a reference element. So I can start relate to XPath from this point. So that's what I'm doing. Double slash division with attribute ID equal to form. So it will go directly this element. It will identify this element directly. And from here, go to first division element, div of 1. What is the meaning of div of 1? In this division, there are multiple division elements. Multiple division elements inside this division. 2 elements are there. Out of the 2 elements, I want to find first element. So that's why I defined here division of 1. And inside this division of 1, identify input element. That's all. So it is highlighting one element what I want. Copy this. How to define. Yeah, see that? See, all these 3 XPaths are identifying same element, guys. This XPath, and this XPath also. All these 3 XPaths are identifying the same element. See, we are defining in different ways XPaths. So that is that much powerful XPath. So you can take most right See how you can say that xpath is good. Xpath should be short and it should identify that element uniquely. That is a good xpath. You should not write very big and lengthy xpath. You should have to optimize it to make it as much as possible short. And that xpath should work properly always. So even though there are some changes in the application, your xpath should work. So like that, you have to define it. Your xpath should not fail even for small changes in the application UI. All of you understand. So these are all the points we have to keep in mind when you are writing xpath. Good xpath. Guys, any doubt? Any doubt here? How to define, how to use element position or index number in the xpath? And see that I can use last child. How to identify last child? Last child means see this one. In this xpath, there are two divisions, right? First one, second one. So I want to identify. I can define div of 2. Then it will go to this position div of 2, right? Div of 2. If I define like this, it will identify the second element. That's good. Suppose if I don't know how many elements are there, how many child elements are there here, and I want to identify the last child element, then I can write here, see last. Instead of number 1, 2, 3 like that, I can write here last with empty brackets. That's all. It will highlight last child element of division. So inside this division, it will find last division element, child element. There are only two child elements, so the second element should be identified. That's what it's doing. You understand this, guys? How when you can use this last option? If there are multiple child elements and I don't know how many elements are there, but I want to find the last child element. In that case, you need to specify that position number or index number. Simply, you can say that last child. That's all. Let me copy this. Control C. Okay. Now let us see. This XPath identifies password text box. Let me use this here. So you also write this step. Enter password. Enter password. To enter password, driver dot find element by dot xpath. Copy the text path. This one. Control C. Dot send keys. Enter some text as a it is a wrong password. Give wrong password. No problem. Enter password value. Test. Guys, you see that? I'm using here last method in the XPath to identify last division child element in this parent element. Inside this parent element, I want to find the last division element. That's what it will do. It finds the last child division element, and inside that input. Yes, all of you complete this step and check this execution. Is it running or not? Enter password. Password value should be entered into the password field. Okay, it is entered. TEST, 4 characters are entered. Name is entered and password also entered successfully. So please complete this step execution. and let me know. Okay. Yes, all of you are able to understand the XPath concepts now, what we are discussing now. Any confusion?
No, sir, it's working.
No, right? Okay. So, okay, guys, let us continue. And there are a few more options that we can use with in XPath. See that using text, we can use text value of any element. Not only we have seen a link text, right? The link text locator we are using to identify link elements. But in the XPath, we can use any text, any element text, not only link text. See, for example, to identify this test login, to identify this test login, we define XPath. How we define XPath? Here, see that it is XPath, right? Using HTML tag, we're identifying this header. Is it right? So I can identify this element using its text in the XPath. Let's see that how to define XPath for this element using text value. For that, it is h2 element, right? H2 element, and copy this text value. Copy this and remove this XPath. See double slash h2. I will go to directly that element h2, and in the brackets text empty brackets equal to close. That's all. You see that it is highlighting one element. This element is highlighted. See, it is working now. So I can use this XPath also to identify header. See here I can use replace this one. See that h2 in the square brackets. I'm defining this element text value. How I'm defining text value? Using text method. See, text with empty brackets equal to its value, text value. But see, this text is not proceeding with at the rate of symbol. You please remember, you please see the difference. Why it is not proceeding with at the rate of symbol? Since it is not attribute, it is a method. It is a separate method, text with empty brackets. For attributes, we don't use this brackets, right? See, text is not a attribute, guys. See that. See, this value is not attribute. Attribute always defined inside beginning HTML tag. All of you clear? See, inside this input tag, type is defined, name is defined, ID is defined, the tag is closed. All of you understand? But this text is defined in between beginning and ending of the HTML tags, not inside the HTML tag. If it is attribute always defined inside the HTML tag, not outside of the HTML tag. All of you understand? It is called HTML text. So we are defining here HTML text, not in the not the attribute. In this XPath, we are using a text value, HTML text value, not HTML attribute value. So that's why this text is not preceded with at the rate of symbol. See here, name is attribute. So that's why we added at the rate of symbol. Type also attribute, HTML attribute. So at the rate of symbol is must. But here text is not HTML attribute. It is HTML text. It is a text method we are using here. So that's why it is not proceeded with at the rate of symbol. So all of you clear, right? How to define HTML text or any element text in the XPath. So it will identify H2 element with HTML text value test login. So there is only one element with this text and H2 tag. So it will identify successfully without any issue. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, done. So element text should be defined like this using text method in the XPath. So next, see that. See, we have seen how to use attribute value in the XPath, right? Here, name equal to username. Multiple attributes, how to use. We have seen that. We can also use partial attribute value. You no need to define the full attribute values in the XPath. Okay, if there is any attribute value is dynamically changing and there is no other attribute to identify that element I can use. So in such cases, sometimes, right, you may be facing this like this typical situations. See this example. Okay, so let us take this name attribute. Okay, username, right? In the name attribute username, I can define full name, right? Double slash input at the rate of name equal to username. I'm defining here full attribute value. Is it right? Suppose if I want to use partial attribute value, if I can use only partial attribute value, I can't use a full attribute value because it is dynamically changing in the application. So in such case, still we can use you can use partial attribute values in the XPath. How we can use that? See that, for example, if I define user, just user, username is the full value, but I'm using only user. Okay, see that how we can, now it is not working, right? Still it is not identifying any element. Zero elements are found here. You can see here 0. So it is not the correct way to define partial attribute value. See, for that, you should use contains method. Contains. See this, guys. I will copy it here, then you can understand. I will replace this username xpath. Yeah, see that how I define contains. Contains. See, this is the brackets for contains method. Inside contains, there are two arguments. One is name of the attribute, name, and its partial value, partial attribute value. So it is user. You understand? So here I no need to define full value of this attribute. I can define a partial value of this attribute. Because since I'm defining here partial value, that's why I'm using here contains method. That means this attribute should contain this substring anywhere. This attribute should contain this text value in its value anywhere at any position, not a problem. You understand? This user should be present in this name attribute. User should be available. It can be at the beginning or ending or at the middle of the value of name, no problem. At any position it can be present, but that value should be there. All of you understand now how we can use partial attribute values using contains method. Using contains method. So copy this. So partial attribute value using, I will define here, contains method. Contains method. All of it clear? Control C. Let's see, paste it here. Yeah, done. You see that how I define here contains method to use partial name attribute value input, and inside the square brackets contains, and contains method bracket should open and should end here, and in between two parameters we are passing, two inputs we are passing. First input is attribute name preceding with at the rate of symbol comma, and second input. These are the two inputs we are passing to this method, contains method. All of you understand? So first input is attribute name, and second input is expected substring in this attribute. I'm expecting this user text should be present in this attribute. That's all. I don't bother about the full value of the complete value of that attribute. All of you understand, guys? So like this also, we can define xpaths using partial attribute values. So you please try this execution using partial attribute value with the contains method. Change this xpath and then try to run your script. So it is entered. Username is entered successfully. That means it is working good. The xpath is identifying the username text box successfully. So let me know once you done such execution completed.
In the phone.
Yeah, it's done.
Done, sir. It's working.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, guys. And now see that here. See other options. Starting attribute value. Okay. See contains means right. This string can be there at any position. Is it right? Suppose if I want to use some attribute value begins with starting value I want to use to identify. So then we can use this value using starts with method. There is a method called starts with, like contains. Okay, let us see that. It is a similar. See here, I can use, okay, let me check that first in the XPath here. Is it working or not? Okay. Uh, Instead of contains, starts with, starts hyphen with. Okay. You see that it is working fine. Starts hyphen with at the name of user. Yes, this attribute is beginning with user, right? This name attribute value is starting with user. So that's why it is working fine. Suppose if this name is not starting with user, it will fail. It won't identify that element. Understand? So you can use this one if you want to identify any element using its starting value of any attribute. Okay. I'm copying this, guys. See that here. So method is changing. That's all. Starts with, starts hyphen with, and same inputs, attribute name, and what is the starting value of this attribute. We have to define. So you got to understand the difference, right? Contains method difference and starts with, when you can use starts with, when to use contains method. So that is important. If you know that when in which situation you have to use different options, then you can easily write the XPath, good XPath, very good XPath, right? In the very quickly. So any questions here? No?
No, sir.
Okay. Now see this, guys. Descendant option. The descendant option means descendant means, what is the meaning of descendant? Any child element. See here, for example, if I take this division, okay. Okay, if I take this division, okay, if I take this division, all these elements, see, this division element, this label element, this input element, this division, this label, this inputs, all are inside this division element, right? All of you clear? This is the parent element for all these elements. See, this element is a direct parent element for this division, but for this label, this division is not a direct parent, right? It is a grandparent. I can say that, right? Like that. See, but this label is inside this element, not directly, okay, but at the different level, not in the immediate level, but at the different level. All these elements are inside this division element. See, what is meaning of descendant? The element which is inside this element at any level, at any position, not a problem. No need to be the immediate level. That element can be present in the next grandchildren level or next child level, at any level. No need to be the first immediate level, immediate child. You understand? That is the meaning of descendant. Descendant means what is that? So any element which is present inside that parent element at any level, that is the meaning of descendant. See, for example, see that how I will define, how I will identify this element, input element, using descendant. I will try to identify this input element using descendant method. Let me check that how I can do that. How for that, first I have to identify this parent element using id equal to form. Okay, guys. So I will remove that double slash division at id equal to form. Done. Now from here, see, I'm writing descendant double slash input. And so double slash I have to give. Not identifying. Descendant spelling is right, right. Okay, it is highlighting. Okay, slash descendant label. Descendant spelling DSNDNT, correct. Okay, guys, leave this one. See that I can use, instead of writing descendant, I can write here double slash, guys, double slash. Double slash. If I write here label, see that it is highlighting label. I no need to write any method specifically. See, if I want to identify any element, see, I want to find label element inside this division element. See, this label is not a direct child element for this division. Understand, guys? See, this element is identifying this division element. All of you clear? Okay, see that. But from this element, I want to identify directly this label or this label. See that now I'm highlighting this, I'm giving label, so it will highlight this one now. First element, first label element, it will highlight. Okay. Suppose if I give input, it will identify first input inside that. See that it is highlighting first input. See, double slash means, what is the meaning of double slash here? This element is a descendant element for this parent element, not immediate child, or may not be immediate child. It can be immediate child, not a problem. But this element may not be a immediate child. If it is immediate child, you have to use single slash. You understand this difference? If I use here single slash, what is the meaning of that? This input should be direct child of this division. See, there is no direct child for this division element, so that's why it is showing 0 elements. But if I write here double slash, see that there is no direct child, but there is, in the second level, there is an input element inside this division element. So now it is highlighting that element. You got it now. The descendant element, how it should be defined. Descendant element should be defined by using double slashes in XPath. See, double slash inside the XPath middle. See, at the beginning of the XPath, we are starting with the double slash. See, it is always right, always related to XPath begins with double slash. That meaning is different. If I use double slash inside XPath anywhere, what is the meaning of that? The following element is a descendant of the previous element. Descendant means the following element may not be the immediate child element. So this element may be at different level, not at the immediate level, or it can be next grandchild level, or it may be in different levels. Still, I want to identify that element. That is the meaning of this. So let me copy this. How we should define descendant element in XPath. Copy this. Done. So double slash. So ancestor is the opposite of this. Let us see that. Ancestor means, okay. Now see that I will come in different way. I will come to this input. Okay. I will go to this input field now directly. I will identify this input, double slash input with ID equal to username. Okay. Now I'm at this input element. Okay. Now I want to identify this section element. From this element, from this, currently I'm at this element. Okay, guys. From this element, I want to find this section element, section ID equal to login. Or if I want to go with anything, okay, fine. Let us go with section element. I want to identify section element, this section element. So then that means starting from here, this input element is a child element of this section. Is it right? That means this section is a parent of this element, but not the direct parent. Is it right? It is a different level, not at the immediate parent level. Okay. Now see that how I define. ancestor / section. Now see that it is highlighting section element. Why it is highlighting first element. It should identify this one, right? Okay, let me see that. Here ID equal to login. I can use attributes also, guys. Here also I can define. See that now? See, it is I want to identify ancestor element with HTML tag name section and with attribute ID equal to login. See, first I am identifying this input element. Guys, see here, you can identify this element directly using ID because here ID is available. But in the real-time scenarios, right? See, for this element, there is no attributes available sometimes in some applications. Okay, guys. So you may have to first identify its child element, and then from there you have to navigate back to the parent element. There might be some situations you may face, guys. You don't know, right? While identifying the elements, right, in the application, sometimes, right, it's very difficult because nowadays all applications are very dynamic. Okay, so they are using different technologies, latest technologies, right? So it is not that much easy to identify web elements. Sometimes you will be facing a lot of challenges like this. For just assume that you have to identify this element. For this element there is no attributes available. For example, let us take this ul, guys. Ul, for this ul there is no it is not a parent, so I can't use this one. Okay, yeah, okay, guys, assume that I cannot say anything. I cannot take any other element here because this ul is not a parent of this input element, so that's why I can't use this ul for this example. Okay, ancestor means any parent element at any level. That element should be a parent element, but not may not be immediate parent. It can be at any level, not an issue, but that following element should be a parent of the current element. That is the meaning of ancestor. So here if I look at this here, in this xpath, right, you are initially at this element. From this element I want to write tracing back to its parent section element. How I'm navigating from here to back to the parent element? Using ancestor method. Ancestor double colon, and what element you want to identify in the parents tree section element I want to identify with ID value login. See, this element parent tree. Parent tree means it is the immediate parent, next parent, next parent, next parent, like this. It will go parents tree, right? So in this parents tree, it will identify the next parent with the name section and ID value login. So here it is found. So like that, this ancestor method works to identify elements in the web page. So you understand this, guys? You understand this ancestor method usage, how to use this, when to use this? Control C. Done. Let's see that. First, we are identifying the input element, and from this input element, I want to go back to the parents tree and find a parent element with the name section header with name section HTML tag and ID value login. That is the meaning of this XPath. All of it clear? And this XPath, how it will find this input element? First, it identifies division element with ID value form, and then in its children tree. Understand, guys? In its children tree, it should find input element. This input element should be a child of this element, but at any level. No need to be immediate child. That is the meaning of that. It is a reverse. These two are opposite. All of you understanding? Descendant and ancestor. Descendant means child elements. Ancestor means parent element. Finding the parent element. Descendant means finding the child element from the current element. So these are the two different techniques how you can identify right parent element or child element from the current element. So that is this one xpath. So you please check this xpath, guys, in your system also how it works. You can try this so that you can understand. You please try this one. Yeah, we have two more simple things. Yes, you don't use right all these options in the real-time projects also. So these options and all you'll be using only whenever you face right challenging in identifying the elements. When you will face a challenging big challenge, if there is any element without any attributes, then it is difficult to identify that element. So in such scenario, you have to try with all these options, whatever works fine. Okay, in difficult situations, all these options will be very useful in XPath. Okay, so you don't worry about all these to keep. We no need to remember all these options, guys. Okay, just if you know there are options available in XPath, multiple options are available in XPath to right identify right any difficult element or any dynamic element to identify. Then you can try with all these different options in XPath. Okay, if it is a normal simple elements like with ID attributes, name attributes, it is very simple. Directly you can go with ID locator, name locator. Okay, but in worst case sometimes right you don't find ID and name. There may be some other attributes. Then you can try with XPath. You can try with normal XPath. No need to go with all these options. A normal XPath means like this attribute. Using attributes you can try. If it is not working, then try with multiple attributes. That is also not working. Then you have to try all other options one by one. Depends upon the that element which is right not identified properly. But if you can practice these experts right, you can understand these things easily, and you can right easily use it in the real time whenever it is required. So for that, you please practice these experts at least once, all these experts, so that you can understand that how it is identifying this expert is identifying that element. So guys, all of you done this one, this expert? Have you tried this expert and sister? So it's done. Hello. Deepa, Suma, have you tried this XPath and it's completed? Is it completed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, guys. Just see that we have two more few right options we can use in XPath. One is proceeding, another one is following. These two are same similar things. Okay, let us see that first proceeding. Proceeding means just now we discussed about ancestor, right? Ancestor means the parent element at any level, at different levels. Okay, so proceeding means, what is the meaning of proceeding? See, now currently, for example, I am on this element. Now I want to find preceding division element or section element. I can say anything. Preceding means before, right? Before. That means I want to find element which is displayed before this current element. That is the meaning of preceding. See, ancestor means it identifies the current element parent element, right? It identifies some element in its parent's tree. That is ancestor. Preceding means I want to identify element which is displayed before this element. That means all these elements are preceding elements. This element, this element, this element, UL also preceding element, right? UL also coming before this current element, right? So these are all preceding elements, and below all these elements are following elements. That is the meaning of preceding and following. All of you understand? So I am right now here, current element. I am staying here. So with respect to this element, all these elements are preceding elements and all these elements are following elements. That's all. Now see that. Suppose if I want to identify this UL element from this input, how I can identify? I can use here. I can't use ancestor because this UL is not a parent of this input. But I can use here preceding. All of you clear? Now see that. Preceding /UL. Where it is going? Yeah. See, this is the element. Okay. So there are two elements preceding to the current element. So this is one element. See that UL. See, it is highlighting one element. There is one more element preceding to this one, maybe above. So like this, you can identify preceding element. You understand, guys? Preceding means preceding, the difference between preceding and ancestor. Preceding is nothing but the element which is displayed before the element. That's all. That element may not be a parent, no issues. But ancestor means that element should be a parent of the current element. That is the difference. I hope you understand now preceding, all right? Now see that, for example, if I want to identify a label element, say that this label element, I can use simply label. Simple, I can say label. See, it is highlighting label. All of it clear? Suppose if this label can be at the same level, or this label can be here anywhere, is it right? Anywhere, no problem. It will identify this preceding. Suppose if I want to identify a label which is at the same level. Guys, all of you understanding? Preceding means it will identify any element which is displayed before the current element. So this label can be displayed at any level. No need to be at the same level of the current element. That element can be at the current level or it can be at any level. It can be there. It will identify preceding. Suppose if I want to identify a preceding element that is displayed at the same level of the current element. Understand, guys? In that case, I should use here one more keyword, sibling. See, still it is highlighting label. See that same label. That means this label is a sibling of this element, and this label is displayed before this element. That is the meaning of this xpath. This label is sibling of this input, and this label is displayed before this input. See, this label is before this input. You understand that, guys? So that is the meaning of preceding sibling and preceding difference. Now, similarly, let me take a following example. I'm in the currently here, right? Now let me write here following label. What will be displayed now? If I write following label, see that I'm writing here following label. See, look at that. See, currently we are here. From this element, I want to find the following label. I want to find label element which follows this current element. That means that label element which is displayed after the current element. So here, see, here there's a label. See, this label is not a sibling of this element. So I can't use here following sibling option. I should use only following. When you should use following sibling? If this label is at the same level of the current element, then you can use following sibling. All of you clear? So to identify this input starting from this label, then I can use following sibling. Suppose if I am at this label element, and from this label element I want to identify this input. So in that case I can use following sibling. Okay, but right now we are here in the input element, and now I want to find this label. So this label is displaying after this input, so you should define only just following, not following sibling. Guys, you understand now the difference here? Following sibling. Let me copy this. Okay, so let me copy this. It is following. Following sibling means you should use here sibling like this. It is a syntax. Similarly, preceding, preceding. Sorry, yes, it is following sibling, preceding sibling. Okay, it is following, and it is preceding sibling. Okay, not label. Section. I will give section or label. Label is right. Preceding sibling. Okay. It is a following sibling. Right. Okay. Following sibling label. Fine. Preceding. Yeah. Guys, you understand now the difference between preceding and following, and preceding sibling and preceding. Okay. So these are all different options, right? We can use in XPaths. So if you just know all these options, right, then in the real-time projects it will be very useful. But you have to practice at least once. Only then you can use those options in the project or in the real time. Guys, you please practice one more time all these XPaths, and if you have any questions or any confusions, and if you have any clarifications required, we can discuss in the next session. And we'll continue with the CSS selector. It is similar to XPath, how to define CSS selector. Once you know how to define CSS selector also, then you are ready to create Selenium scripts. Okay, we can start with actual scripting. So before starting actual scripting, just we are learning how to identify elements using Selenium on the web page. Okay, it is very important concept, basic concept that we should know. Okay, in the real-time projects, right, all elements may not have ID and name attributes. Most of the elements they don't define ID and names. So almost most of the cases, right, we need to use xpaths to identify elements. So that is the reason I'm trying to explain in detail the xpath concept. You please try to understand, try to practice the xpath. It will be very useful to you while working in the real-time projects as well. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. You have any questions? Any questions?
No, sir, it's clear.
Yeah, okay. So please practice all these concepts, expert options, what we discussed. I will update this document. I'll place this document in the shared drive. You can get it. I hope you all of you have these scripts, right? I no need to put these scripts, whatever I'm creating in my system, is it?
Yes, sir. If you send this script, it will be useful, sir, because like we are facing some syntax error and all.
Mhm.
That's why we
Okay,
are trying. Just conceptually, we are clear.
okay. Okay, fine. Then guess I will place this scripts also, script files. Okay, in the text file format, I will put with the same name, login.txt, export.txt, like that. I will place it in the shared drive. You can open that text file and you can copy that script and you can check it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. That's it for today's session. And thank you all. And meet you in the next week. And meantime, guys, please, you please try to revise again all the concepts what we discussed in the last till all till this session. 3 sessions are completed, right? So in these 3 sessions, whatever we completed, please try to go go back again all the concepts whatever we discussed and try to understand all the concepts whatever is completed. And if you have any questions, you can reach me. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, please practice. Practice is very important. Okay, I'm trying my best to make you do hands-on in my session itself, but I don't know whether you are doing that practice or not. I hope I'm thinking that you are doing it.
So we are practicing, sir.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, that's good. Okay. Right, if suppose if you miss it in the session, please don't miss, right, please complete the practice at least after the sessions, but plus try to complete it in the session itself. Whenever I give the time to do practice, do that at the time. Try to do that at your best to complete it within the session itself. In case if you are not able to complete it, don't worry, but try to complete it at least right after the session and before our next session starts. Okay, guys.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.